Hello, my name is METİN. This is 281st part of explanation of my theory. According to my theory and my formulas, anti-quantum continuous spectrum at a single frequency, anti-quantum Blackbody radiation. 1. From micro level X-rays to macro level stars light. A continuous spectrum represents relocating free electron motion form. In motion, free electron motion form. 2. Free electron motion forms are eternal perpetual motion machines of meta-sensation perception matter. They produce and propagate successive spherical ring-shaped, intertwined, interconnected, interacted light waves. 3. If a free electron motion form is at rest, its initial wavelength doesn't change and its wave velocity is the same in all directions, speed of light. In this case, there is no continuous spectrum, there is only one line that represents wavelength and energy. Yes. Lambda normal, at rest, free electron motion form. First cycle, second cycle, each direction lambda normal, and each direction speed of light. In this condition, intensity, wavelength, align. Okay. This is continuous spectrum in motion electron motion form. Yes. 4. When a free electron motion form is in motion, relocating, point wavelength, point wave velocity, point energy, point mass, point angular momentum, point tangential velocity in each direction change depending on free electron motion form's velocity, motion direction and orientation without frequency change. Whether electron motion form is at rest or in motion, its frequency stays constant. 5. What do continuous spectrum graphs represent and what do they imitate? For instance, X-rays continuous spectrum graphs represent variation of a specific initial wavelength of a free electron motion form and imitate these variations. As the free electron motion form's velocity changes, variation of its specific wavelength as a continuous spectrum changes depending on free electron motion form's velocity, motion direction and orientation. Continuous spectrum graph imitates these variations. In the normal case, at rest electron motion forms, initial wavelength is lambda normal. But when a free electron motion form is relocating, say in this direction at a certain velocity, okay, in each direction, point wave velocity c minus electron motion form velocity cosine alpha, okay, and variable wavelength is equals to lambda normal minus delta lambda cosine alpha change, okay. Yes. 6. What can we determine with the help of the continuous spectrum graphs? We can determine 0 degree motion direction of free electron motion form, and we can determine shortest in this direction. This is shortest shortened, largest wavelength 180 degrees direction, but in electron motion forms motion direction here in 0 direction, shortest shortened wavelength lambda normal minus delta lambda cosine 0 degree is equal to lambda normal minus delta lambda. Here, shortest shortened wavelength. We can determine 0 degree motion direction of free electron motion form. Snapshot. And we can determine shortest shortened wavelength of this relocating free electron motion form. Here is the formula. Shortest shortened wavelength formula that I put forth. Here 1248.3 volt multiplied by nanometer and applied voltage to accelerating free electron motion form. Okay. Mine shortest shortened wavelength formula here, 0 degree direction. According to my theory, in an X-rays continuous spectrum graphs, on the left side, shortest shortened wavelength point indicates 0 degree direction, motion direction of a free electron motion form. And on the right side here, 90 degree direction, starting wavelength point indicates 90 degree direction, motion direction of free electron motion form, and this means this wavelength in 90 degrees is specific initial at rest wavelength lambda normal. Like what? This is electron motion form lambda normal. Lambda normal of this free electron motion form. Okay? This formula has nothing to do with the Einhand formula. And as I told you before, the Einhand formula is wrong. We can determine free electron motion form's velocity in a few different ways. Here is, again, second formula that I put forth. Okay, here is a relationship formula between at rest and in motion free electron motion forms, wave velocities and wavelengths in the context of constant frequency that I put forth. And my third formula here, from these two formulas, I can easily find electron motion form's velocity. Here my formula. Okay. We can determine many other things. Don't forget, in our universes, there are different types of electron motion forms with different wavelengths. And their different wavelengths represent different lambda normals, different continuous spectrum scales, micrometer level, nanometer level, angstrom level. Okay. For instance, we have an electron motion form, 91.155 nanometer wavelength size, and it is at rest. Now, but when we apply $1,000 to accelerate this, okay. Now it is in motion and it changes. Like this. Shortened wavelength, etc. Yes. Lambda normal minus delta lambda will be what? Divided by 1000. Yes. 1.2483 nanometer. Okay. And what is electron motion form's velocity? C minus C multiplied by lambda normal minus delta lambda divided by lambda normal. Okay. If we divide 1.2483 divided by 91.155 multiplied by C, okay, minus 3. Yes, electron motion form's velocity is 295,891 kilometer per second, approximately the speed of light, near the speed of light, under these conditions. Yes. I will go on next. Continuous spectrum is So important. Have a good evening. Good years. See you later.